Sounds like first game was a stomp. Alistar, Omeganuke and Tyhednus effectively tried to tech crush without any money, so their opponents just went for the tier 2, tier 1 build, and they just stomped them. Yeah, it pretty much was. Whether or not they'll be able to put up a better fight this time around remains to be seen. Okay, on the left, as the orange European Alliance, we have Last Swanguard. Their teammates as the Crimson Haihead, we have Otto. Their opponents as the blue Scorpion Cell, we have Tyhednus. And as the Sky Latin Confederation, we have the Lagmaster himself, Omeganuke. Right, we switched to a European tunnel, and it seems to have marginally improved. It's actually significantly better than the last one. Holy shit. Well, as soon as I say that, it freezes up a bit, but it's not as unstable as it was before. Not sure what the beacon out here from Tyhednus was in aid of. Likely as a reminder, yo, by the way, get your fucking oil, Derek. But there we are. As we see phone infantry move out to secure the oil derricks in the top middle here. Otto here, I think, going to be dependent a lot on his teammate here in order to try and scout the map, as in Limbo is huge. And phone infantry scouting, you can't really afford to make more than 4 lances if you want to keep up night frame production to scout, or you can just make nothing but night frames and suffer the decreased speed and decreased vision that night frames have in comparison to lancers. We've got a single attack dog here from Zwangor, just eats up 2 spooks before completely free, as Tyhednus moves out to secure the oil derricks directly in the centre. That an engineer to accomplish that aim. Omeganuke, having already secured his oil derrick over there, likely having just raced an engineer over before the night frames can arrive. And it looks like he intends to drown the night frames in conscripts. Or at least as much as drowning them in conscripts as you can constitute with, about what? 12? I hear an engineer die. I believe a phone engineer was just executed by a dog on the way to the oil derrick. Tyhednus takes away Zwangwad's oil from the top there, as there's an allied engineer just retreating. Single night frame looked like it was going to move up, but is now since moving up here. As I believe that is Omeganuke's dog gets the scout off. Seeing a lot of GI starting to form up in the center there, and they look like they're going to try and take that oil derrick back out in force. Straight war factory out there from Tyhead as he goes straight into Ghost Miner production. Omeganuke trying to base crawl some. I think, is he going to try and walk up here? It's an interesting call if he is, but it's a very odd factory placement. Second refinery down here for Tyhednus there, as a terror drone comes skittering back into base. That's actually probably Omeganuke's insurance against the night frames here. You can probably take that night frame blob on now if he manages it well enough. Tyhednus manually ordering the return of Ghost Miners back to the refinery here. As he stays on miner production, so does Tyhednus. As does the phone player. We're seeing a second war factory before the second refinery here for phone here, as they sit on 3 miner mats, their economy in the gutter, as you'd expect at that situation. And the same thing from Zwangod here, second factory before the refinery. Again, their economy slightly behind here, but this could more than well be made up for. This is what they did in the previous game, so if it works for them, it'll work for them, but it depends on how Omeganuke and Tyhead will adapt and learn from the last game. We're seeing Mantis tanks starting to come out on the field here, but the Crushers aren't exactly going to be 100% effective. Omeganuke moves to respond to his teammate's beacon, but Tyhednus needs more infantry himself if he wants to actually be able to fend this off, because conscripts against that GI blob are just going to evaporate. Single Jackal out here for Otto, likely to go around and capture this oil derrick up at the top. As we're starting to see we're seeing Stinger support come in here for Tyhednus. I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish. It looks like he's trying to use them in an explicit anti-infantry role, but it's not gone particularly well. A couple of GIs present in order to prevent the Crushers, and Tyhead's having difficulty trying to execute that as he just throws his infantry blob away. Ghost Miner crops up in all places. But that is something that the Mantis tank should have been trying to accomplish here. He does force the retreat, but Tyhead was the definitive loser in that engagement here, as we see a couple of Cavaliers crop up on the field now, followed by a robot tank, solely for detection. Tyhed's going to have to start going absolutely ham on the Mantis tanks ban. They are 600 quid, so they're significantly cheaper, as we see a second MCV out here for Omeganuke as he again goes for tier 3. Except this time he has money, but only 5 miners. He's going to have to be bloody careful how he spends that cash. As we just see a non-stop stream of Cavaliers, GIs, and Night Frames out from the opposing players here. A war factory here was destroyed with craters. I believe that is a bomb. That was a bomb buggy from Omeganuke here. As we see the enemy, as we see RSNDM starting to fall on top of their opponents, taking engagement. A couple of Cyclopses get destroyed here, and a couple of Night Frames are picked up here, which is a significant pickup here. However, they're simply receiving more and more reinforcements, and I don't think there's enough anti-tank here on the field in order to handle all of this. Tyhednus and Omeganuke are just getting crushed underfoot here. And the enemy just completely walk in here. A couple of Cyclopses here, one slightly damaged, okay, just the one Cyclops, but it's these 5 Cavaliers, I'm sorry, which pose a significant threat here. Make that 4 Cavaliers now, as one of them is destroyed. Speeder Trike responding. Another one's going to get caught out by the Cyclops there. As Tyhednus basically just needs to micro harder with his forces here. Gonna have to be bloody careful though. No form of any initiates here. It's still piling on the Cavaliers here. We're seeing more speeders. We are going to see more speeders, but Tyhednus keeps throwing them straight into the GIs here. We're seeing Morales out on the field for Omeganuke now, as he works on a refinery in order to keep his economy afloat. We're going straight into catastrophe production here, but no desolators as of this moment. Morales alone forces the retreat of most of the tier 1 army here, as the phone player again commits to a second war factory here, places it down, goes for a third war factory here. AFHQ coming out for the European Alliance player. Third factory is on the field, going for Windtrap again. And this is a rather sizable base crawl here. We're on double factory, 2 barracks, and we're starting to see siege cadre come out here. Zwongo can definitely afford this. They're sitting quite comfortably on 8k in control of their opponent's oil derrick here. They have a sizable Cavalier force, but there are a sizable amount of Speeder Treks out on the field here. So can Tyhednus put the pressure back on the enemy is the question of the hour. Speeder Treks do in fact move out here. So, how good is Tyhednus micro? He gets 1 Cavalier, he may get the second one. Infantry starting to fold in on top of him, however, but the speeders are very quick. They're fast to avoid that. Omeganuke starting to load his catastrophes with desolators here. We're going to see another war factory. Phone player working on Nanolume here. That looks like RSNDM are just going to go straight for the tech up here, but that's a very bold base crawl here. That is a power move there. But RSNDM probably do have the strength to get away with that. Looks like Tyhednus ordered the recapture of his oil derrick, but those speeders getting awfully close here. Morales out in the field and a couple of Desotastrophes. They try to cryo shot the Desotastrophes, but it's only cryo shot. It's not cryo spear. You need cryo spear for that, which is locked behind tier 3. That only affects light armor. The Night Frame's moving very quickly forwards here, as Morales and the Catastrophes desperately try to hold off, but there's simply, quite frankly, too many of the enemy here. The Speeder Treks crop up. There's a Desolator deploy from Omeganuke here, but I think that's done more harm than good. But the Desolator blob here simply just takes out everything else, and it looks like Tyhednus able to force the retreat from the phone player. And now, can they retake the initiative here? Morales moving forward here. Tyhednus on tier 3 here. Malva in production. More speeders coming out the factory here, as we just see hard GI Cavalier production from the European Alliance here. Phone MCV's moved out here. Is constructing Cyber Kernel. They have a very exposed expansion here. Meanwhile, main engagement taking place over here. We're seeing mind control, desolators going ham. Everything's coming apart here. I'm not sure why they're falling back here. The Lag Factory do in fact very much have the initiative here. They can definitely delay the ally teching process with an AFHQ snipe if they play their cards right. Since we're not seeing any advanced units here, but the sheer delay might be enough. We're working with Shield Command here for Euro. As Omeganuke moves in, Desolators just simply clean everything up now that they're in significant numbers. There's another Desolator deploy here, and the phone player almost walks straight into it. All the Desolators are dead, though. I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish. Tyhednus now commits to the... well, almost committed. He went to try and go take the War Factory on. Another cryo shot here. Only claims a couple of infantry, however. We're starting to see Flame Tower. Not sure why it's placed there. It would be better spent on the phone infantry block. As Tyhednus simply maneuvers to take out 3 robot tanks here. Starting to see an Irritator out on the field here for the phone player. It gets mind controlled, however, from Tyhednus. However, it may simply just die to the pillbox. Yep, but either way, that is a very juicy kill there for Tyhednus, as taking out Irritators themselves is always a good thing, even if we did in fact gimp them. Tyhednus retaking the initiative here. Cavaliers just being sniped. Barracks goes down. We're seeing Irritator deploy of all things go down here. More confusion takes place. Tyhednus should probably try and snipe that. Oh no, he gets even better. The mind controls it. The Lag Factory, however, they are lacking in anti-infantry capability, but Morales is on obviously here, and he's doing a lot of work here. Still regular though, not veteran. Allied European Alliance, however, has just completely collapsed without any units on the front line, going into Mirage tanks, but they stopped making infantry, and they're about to lose most of their power grid. We're seeing the Crutch Stun Grid deploys here from the phone player in an effort to try and salvage the situation, but the main threat here are the catastrophes of the vehicles, not so much the infantry, and I don't think Morales is going to get caught in that. Morales depilots yet another Irritator, as the phone player desperately tries to move, and they may force back the Epsilon here through sheer force of mass, as Morales simply can't quite kill everyone fast enough. You do get a couple of shots off at Morales, but Morales again retreats back into out of range, as I hear drilling noises. There's no detection out here for the phone player, and I think he knows Malva's out in the field. Now the question is, what's this drilling, and is it Tyrants? We're seeing a 4th factory here for the phone player. It is indeed Tyrants, going beelining straight for the enemy's Conyard here, but there are 2 Mirage, just the 1 Mirage tank out in the field here. It may just shut everything down. That Conyard looks like... oh, the Conyard's killed by the Tyrants! Swangod only has his barracks remaining. This display, I'm not sure if this was a display of hubris or an attempt to try and balance the playing field here by taking 2 underpowered factions against what is considered a very meta response here. But it is starting to cost them dearly. Swangod here taken out with only his barracks queue to save his life, desperately trying to recruit Tyrants, it looks like, but engineers walking through toxic gas is not exactly conducive to their health. Picks up another Irritator here, as of course depiloting allows that. Bold nanosync there from the phone player. If Omeganuke gets vultures, he can probably go ham. Malva starting to clean up a lot of that infantry though. Tyrants burrowing, unburrowing, everything's falling apart at the seams here. Malva simply walks over Stun Grid and gets over it, and is simply looking for targets to take out. There's a Soda deploy. We may see Malva just evaporate. Yep, there goes Malva. Didn't snipe the Soda when he had the chance. As you see a couple of Rocketeers out here that simply evaporate. Tyrants simply melting everything apart now as they burrow yet again. I think at this stage the Lag Factory are going to take this 1-all. And we may see this move to Red Sun Canyon. No strike at the phone expansion yet, which is where if they want to land a death knell, I believe would be the best place to land it. Factory looking very low on health here. We've got any jets from the Lag Factory? No jets at all from the Lag Factory, but we have another move out here. It dies to something, I'm not sure what to. And Tyhednus forgetting that the speed of deploy will switch it mode, so it does significantly better damage to structures, but he may just be running around to annoy the enemy. Seals evaporating a couple of initiates here and there, as this lone miner might simply dies. We're going to see a Lee's on the production here. Haihead is now at tier 3, but how much it'll save them is not yet to be seen. The speed is simply running down the cyber kernel here, going for the priority snipe here. They may actually just flat out get it. Yeah, no, they've got the Cyber Kernel. That's only one Megalodon and just one Elise out for the phone player as they now, Tyhead remembers to deploy here. A Mega Nuke with the long distance Kirov here up at across the top of the map. Bit late to the party, but we've got a single Barillo here as well. And it looks like the phone player is going to lose their MCV at this rate. Megalodon on the field here, tanky bugger, but it is just going to get kind of to death by the speed of tricks. Tyhead needs to remember that, you know, he's got more. Otto presses the observe button, and so does one god here. Omeganuke gives them GG. And there we are, the Lag Factory reclaim it.